These are 3 motorcycles that I built. They're actually Revelation concepts. It's a concept that was given to me by God, I believe, and it's never been done before in the world like this. The whole thing with these motorcycles is the custom motorcycle industry, it prides itself on originality and being the first one to do this and the first one to do that. Everybody wants to be an innovator and a pioneer. Now, people have been building custom choppers and just custom bikes since, I guess, the 50s and 60s. That's when it started taking off. But, I mean, after so many years of using the same engine, all the bikes start to look the same because that's what they base their whole bike around, is the engine. That's like the core of it. I mean, you call your bike a custom bike, but yet down the street there's 10 more just like it. They might have different paint jobs and might be shaped a little bit differently. Well, that's where these come in. They're completely different. Different engine, different shape. They're more sophisticated, fuel injected. They're the bikes of the future, basically. Well, the engine I use is out of a sport bike. It's actually a Suzuki Hayabusa, the fastest motorcycle in the world currently, production-wise anyway. I set that up on my frame jig and I build everything else. They're liquid-cooled, high-performance engines, so it's a very reliable engine. You're not going to have issues with it leaking or not starting like typically you have with a lot of the customs that are out there. They're probably about 250 or 300 pounds lighter than the standard custom, which makes them incredibly fast. The bodies are all hand-formed aluminum. You actually roll the aluminum or steel, whatever you're trying to shape, through. You see how that's flat? As you roll it through, it stretches that particular area and it'll make it bend. So that's how all these shapes that you see was done using that. I've been riding since I was 3. My father, Wayne Ransom Sr., put me on a 3-wheeler when I was 3 years old. People told him he was nuts, and history ever since. I've been eating, sleeping, and breathing motorcycles since I was 3, so I have about 23 years experience in it, and it kept me out of a lot of trouble, I think. I think I could have been, instead of working on my motorcycles and riding them and thinking about it or reading about them or drawing them, I could have been out on the streets doing God only knows what. This is a Revelation prototype. This is the first one that I built. This is actually a rigid chassis, which means there's no rear suspension, and it's more of a drag race bike. Incredibly fast. It runs high 9-second quarter-mile times at about 145, 150. It's very, very fast. And I was actually in the business of customizing Japanese sport bikes, and I didn't really see that business going anywhere. And I was basing my whole career on this, so I was kind of bummed out about it. I was stressed out about it, and I didn't know what to do, so I said a prayer, and God answered my prayer with the vision for this bike, and I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know what it was going to take to do it. I had never built a motorcycle before, but God got in my hands, and 7 months later, there you go. I completed this bike about 1.5 years ago, and this bike took me approximately 7 months to build. Nobody's ever seen it before, so everybody wants a piece of it. Everybody wants to report on it. Everybody wants to have it in their magazines because it stands out so much. It's not just another magazine sitting on the newsstand. The blue one is a 2006 Ransom Revelation. It has air ride suspension, so you're actually riding on a cushion of air. There's no kickstand. It sits right on the frame. You just release the air system, and it actually has a turbocharger on it, which adds about 110 horsepower, I guess, and it makes it about 250 horsepower total. It weighs about 480 pounds dry, so it's an incredibly fast bike. This bike is capable of 200 miles an hour. It's 250 horsepower. It's probably the most sophisticated bike I've ever worked on or built. Carlos Mencia is interested. It's hard to reach people of that level, that financial level, that financial bracket. They're very busy people, and to talk to them, you usually have to talk to their people. So it's like one of those things where my people have to talk to your people and all that. So to actually sell these things, I'm looking to get anywhere from 80 to 150,000. It all depends on the buyer's tastes. You can do mild to wild. To buy an English wheel, I'm thankful that I'm able to do what I love to do for a living. It's awesome waking up in the morning and being able to go to a job that you love. I have a lot of big goals for myself as far as the motorcycle industry goes. I would also like to, besides build custom bikes, I would actually like to start up a corporation and actually have a motorcycle manufacturing corporation where I produced, you know, a couple thousand a year. That's my main goal. See what the future holds. You never know what's around the next turn. So it's actually my life in the past 5 years has been a complete whirlwind. I mean, 3 years ago, actually about 4 years ago, I didn't even know how to work on a motorcycle, and here I am making my own now.